Not our pop pickers. Out of Unit 1 into Unit 2. And how about a little bit of you-know-what from Mr. Tony Hatch, all right? Hi, everybody. It's Monday. I'm Russ Kane. This is the Midday Show in the Digital Green Room. Chomping at the bit is the king of NLP. That's Neil Long presents. Mr. Neil Longie Long. But before we do that, and welcome, by the way, to the Midday Show. On January the 20th, the day of days where we have to play this.
It's fun to see at the YMCA.
I just want to say we wish, you may not, I do. I'm not speaking on anyone's behalf. We wish Donald J. Trump the very best for the next 4 years. And we wish J.D. Vance the very best for the following 8 years. Please God, we can get back to some sense and sensibility. Thank you, Graham. I thought so too. Neil Longie Long, first of all, what are you eating? Secondly, how are you? Thirdly, how's dry January going? All these things we need to know.
A mini cheddar, I'm fine, thank you. And I've had a damp January.
A damp?
Yeah, I've drunk a lot less,
you can go to a chemist.
Gone dry.
You can get stuff for that. Did you have a fabulous weekend? Was you driving me
Yes,
over?
I was working actually most of it, but yes, it was good. Thank you.
Were. I did nothing at all. Went out for lunch yesterday, which was very pleasant, to a little local pub, very, very, very nice. And anyway, news just breaking in.
Yeah.
By the way, we've got a great guest coming in at 12:30.
I have got a buddy who wants to interview you for his podcast.
Well, that's exciting. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for being tonsorial experts. Russ, you've sorted your hair out for Trump's inauguration. I sorted it out on Saturday because I looked like a complete idiot. Right, now, you will remember that today, apart from Donald J. Trump being inaugurated, hopefully the end of wokery and getting Western civilization back to where it should be, right? You may completely disagree. I understand that. That you will know today was the start of the trial of Axel, I'll probably mispronounce it, but I couldn't give a shit. Rudakabuna, or whatever the fuck his name is. Anyway, the guy who stabbed 3 little girls to death, right? The guy who, following that, people made comments and were jailed. So I'm being very, very careful, right? Good afternoon to you, Barry J. Allen. He pleaded not guilty, so the trial was going to go ahead. News just breaking. This piece of garbage, scum on earth, has just decided to plead guilty to all the charges. So the murderer of those 3 innocent little girls in a little dance class dancing to Taylor Swift has now pleaded guilty to all the charges leveled against him. Which means, of course, that we will never know now just what happened. You see where I'm going with that? I'm picking my words very carefully. I have no desire under Keir Starlin to be in jail. Thank you very much. But you see what I'm saying? He's now pleaded guilty. Boom, that's the end of it. Ricky Jones's trial, is it Ricky Jones, the Labour councillor, wherever the hell he is, who indicated made death signs? That trial's been put back. Oh, yeah. That trial's been put back You see, they tried to put it all on Today because the news cover, as one Labour person wrote years ago. Do you remember that? A good day to bury bad news. Do you remember that? Remember that phrase? So that's what they've tried to do today. Put it all on January the 20th, the inauguration of the 47th President of the United States. Hasn't quite worked out. So they've put that trial back. Anyway, Paul Claridge. Good afternoon. Tell us what you're working at. What were you doing, Neil?
I was DJing. I was DJing in a Turkish restaurant. No, I wasn't pot washing. I was DJing. That's pot washing. This is DJ. Get it right.
What did you do it again? I missed it. Go on, do it. What is DJ? What did you? What is that? I've got deaf in my right ear, and I've got an itch on a cat. Is that it?
You've got a lot to learn, my friend.
Is it too late? I know. Well, you know, back in the day at Capital, which I very rarely talk about, but it just made me laugh. They would hire Cara Noble and myself to go out on DJ nights. We loathed it, but they paid us a fortune. And of course, we'd never get onto the stage till 1 or 2 in the morning. God, exhausting. And we throw out some T-shirts, and they think God has arrived. I mean, it was just hilarious. We didn't. Cara and I talking about the blind leading the blind. I mean, you're a professional like DJ. She and I had absolutely no idea what the hell we were doing, and they keep inviting us back to all these clubs in the middle of nowhere. Oh dear me! What have we got? Would you care to read this out, Neil Longie Long?
Oh, greetings one and all. This show and archive shows are being played in the reception of Wanstead Mental Health Clinic, sharing the insights from everyone here. Shout out Wanstead Mental Health Clinic. Congratulations. That's brilliant.
Well, thank you, Dave Asleet. I think there should be a hyphen there, don't you? And it should be Dave Asleet. What's that? More work? More work coming in?
No.
Okay, just checking. Well done, Dave. What does that mean? Where? Please don't tell me it's Wanstead. Your connection to the Wanstead Mental Health Clinic is. What are you going to say? Anyway, we've got a guest coming in.
Oh yeah.
At 12:30. I'm going to have to look at my notes because, to be honest with you, gang, I've had such a morning. Right. So at 12:30, are you ready for this, Mr NLP? Emily Andre, a.k.a. Dr. Emily McDonough, on beating the blues and feeling good, how mushrooms can give you a nutritional boost.
In English?
Well, basically what that fool who was just on just said is Emily Andre, otherwise known as Dr. Emily McDonough, will be here discussing on beating the blues. Why she's a football expert, knows how to beat Chelsea, I don't know. Could have misunderstood that.
Oh, beating the blues. I think you said beating the booze because apparently it's the saddest day of the year today, January the 20th.
Oh,
Blue Monday.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic day. Trump's being inaugurated. How can you be depressed? And how mushrooms can give you a nutritional boost. A boost.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a great word? Boost. I got to tell you, we both have daughters. They are both the apples of our eyes. I've met your daughter on a few occasions. She's fabulous and a mighty brain box. And my daughter's great. I've got to be honest, my daughter's great. I don't care who knows it. And she said, Dad, I got something for you. And I went, oh, what was that? It was some months ago, last year. And she got me this mushroom coffee because, I'm a coffee nut. She said, try this mushroom coffee. It'll improve your concentration, improve your memory. So yeah, sure, give it a go. Why not? Nothing. Complete bollocks. Right. Graham Pack. Oh,
Dara O'Brien. He's very good.
I only know him from that show he does. I don't know anything else about it. I've never seen him do stand-up.
Mock the Week.
Oh, Mock the Week. That was it. Thank you. Thank God you're here today. My head has turned to mush. Graham Pack said, we saw Dara O'Brien the other night in a small 150-seater work in progress show. He was brilliant. Those shows, if you could ever catch them, we were lucky enough to be invited to Ricky Gervais when he was just working on Armageddon before he took it out on tour. It's a wonderful insight into how people work. And it's so much more intimate. It's great. If you can ever get a work in progress rather than going to the O2, seeing a little dot on the horizon, it's so much better.
I saw Bill Bailey at the O2, and you're right, it was so big. It is. I mean, Bill Bailey's brilliant, but the venue is just so incredibly big.
Yeah, huge.
He was just like a little dot on stage. Yeah, you're right.
Did you enjoy the experience, though? Did you enjoy
I'd have preferred to see him in a smaller venue.
Yeah. Okay, I'm a founder. Dave asleep. I got to tell you, I'm going to be really honest with you, Longie, because you were saying today's meant to be blue. Well, you know, I fight the blues all the time. It's no secret. And I got the shakes today. I've absolutely no idea why. I feel much better now. But I've got a huge funeral tomorrow, a massive funeral. People are flying in from all over the world for this funeral. And the last two funerals, one was a dustman. It was packed. It was standing room only. The one before that was a fireman. That was magnificent. The one before that was a Nobel, sat on the Nobel Prize committee as one of the leading biophysicists in the world. And this chap is a wonderful, was a wonderful person in the world of film and television, especially James Bond, etc. Anyway, I realized I got a bit nervous. I'm being very open. I thought, a bit nervous. No, don't know why. Because I think because there's so much pressure and people flying in from all over the world to attend this funeral. Who knows? Right, Dave Sleep.
You'll be good. You're a pro.
Bless you. Thank you very much. All else fails.
Russ, years ago, you, me, Phil, the Air, Dave, and James Blake sat in the studio of a certain now defunct radio station discussing cancer while the station's sign fell off the wall and the radio control clock failed to keep the correct time. Comedy of errors, it sounds like.
It was, yeah. It's very interesting. I'm going to be very open about this. We, myself and my then business partners, we're not in touch anymore, founded another radio station only focusing on men's mental health.
I remember.
And we had another one just for women. And we worked our guts out for 6 years and nothing. You know, won awards. Everyone talked the talk. Which is why I have no faith in all the corporations and all the governments and everybody who says, oh, we're so concerned about mental health. You're not. You're really not. You really don't care. That's the honest truth. We attended seminars, I gave speeches and all this stuff, and we worked so hard. It was self-funded and no support whatsoever. So then I thought, well, screw this. And left the business partners, not under the happiest of circumstances. These things never are. I don't like having partners anyway. And I started the Midday show. Neil wonderfully came along with Phil, Dave, stay with me, Charmaine, everybody. Charmaine, David.
Chantal.
I was thinking of Charmaine Davis and her jokes. Chantal, Rickards, everybody like that. And the moment we made it more lighthearted, the figures went through the roof. Because that's what you want. That's what you want. People are exhausted from talking about mental health and nobody does anything about it anyway. So, I gave up. Give the people what they want.
You could argue that lightheartedness is a component of good mental health.
I agree totally. That's what I agree about.
There's nothing wrong with spreading mirth.
Yes, totally. Completely. The moment we made it more, we get serious. But the moment we made it more lighthearted, and Neil, thank heaven. What are you doing? Smoking crack or something? What do you got there?
It's a vape. I don't smoke crack in public.
I'll never smoke crack before 6 in the evening. I've got a strict
smoking
rule.
crack.
God damn. Oh God. I don't. Paul Clark, coming back to Paul has had one of the most difficult, arduous lives I've ever known of anybody. He keeps fighting cancer. He has a hard life, and he's never given up. He is an inspiration. He inspires so many, because when you think, well, I'm having a really shit day, and you think, well, you know what? I haven't got cancer. or the cancer hasn't come back. So bless you, Paul. I remember that day of course I remember it very, very clearly.
I never met Paul in person, but I feel a kind of bond with him. Hello, Paul.
Oh, you're missing nothing. I'll be honest, you're missing very little. It's better just to write. It is, but it's true. I've met him loads of times. He's a very good guy. He's a very good guy.
Apologise, Paul.
Of course you can. Grandpack, where else can we talk about the state of your hair or Longie's Christmas tree? What? Go on, let's get it out the way. Are your Christmas decorations still up?
Only because my girlfriend put them up and she weaved the lights around the tree. And I mean weaved. Weaved. They are never, ever
going to be... Can I just tell you something? You are so full of bullshit. I've known you for years, and every time I've been to your home, no matter what month of the year, your Christmas decks are up, girlfriend or none.
So what? I'm eccentric.
No, what I love is you're suddenly trying to get our sympathy. I couldn't take them down because my girlfriend put them up and she's weaved them so like a bloody tapestry.
No, you should see this weave. They are not going anywhere. That is a tighter weave than Tony Blackburn's hair. I'm not joking. That is not going anywhere. It'd be like getting a limpet off a rock trying to get those lights off the Christmas tree. So if anyone's taking them down, she is. Not me.
God.
And if that doesn't happen until next November, so be it.
So be it. And then they've got to go straight back up.
Well, exactly. So why take them
down? Leave them there. There's no point. I've got a doormat. I can't remember where the hell it is. Somewhere. And it's basically ebony. It's a little mini schnauzer wearing a little Christmas hat, bringing a present, like a little red box with some ribbons on it, right? So it's an outside doormat, right? And I never bothered to move it. I just thought it looked jolly. What the hell? What the hell? Right. What does this say from Mr. Claridge? Would you care?
Oh, the station
I'm picking up your part. I'm picking it up.
We're doing so much for mental health, but the authorities clearly didn't want to know or put their money where their mouth is. I remember Leslie DeMazer pinching my bum that day.
What disgusting. How revolting. If Longie changes his girlfriend, will his Christmas tree still be up?
I have no intention on changing my girlfriend. She's beautiful.
Well, we can have a vote on that. Can we have a vote? Obviously not gone too far. Okay, Julie Voice, formerly of Houston, Texas. Now of Guildford, sorry. I think I pushed it till the pip squeaked. I knew you guys would make me laugh. Thanks, chaps. We do our best. What the hell? Really? I'm meant to be... Hi, everyone. And feeling pretty rough. I got a lot to do and a bit of rehearsing and stuff like that. And I take it. I belong to this celebrant. It's called Celebrant Circle, but we all help each other with advice after our training and everything like that. It's really brilliant, Neil. There's care, because who looks after us? You know what I mean? Everyone's looking after the people who've obviously lost people in their family, but who looks after us who have to try not to be like blotting paper and absorb their grief and their stress and everything else. And somebody went to a service, I think on Friday, one of my, they're not really colleagues because I don't know them all, I know some of them, and said, have you got everything? Yeah. And as they're in the service or something, they say, oh, could you say something? The family come up. They cleared everything. They've done everything. They've been through the list. Everything was sorted. Oh, could you say something? Holy God. Oh, my God. I believe it or not. But people, you know what it's like. We've all lost people, and, you know, Julie and all of us. And you get into a complete tailspin. You can't think clearly. And it's all happening at the worst time. The worst time.
It's a learning curve. At the time you need it least.
You don't, you know, of all the times in your life, when you think, yes, all right, I'll get my head around this, I'll start to work it out, whatever it might be. You don't want it when you've just lost someone you love. It's like the last thing you want.
Because there's an awful lot of admin, for want of a better word.
Oh, God. Yes.
For want of a better word.
But because there had to be
that you would never have dealt with or approached before. And, But a learning curve when your mind's grieving, it's tough. It's really tough.
Very. So what I try to do is I come in and I go, just leave all of that to me. Just, you know, my job is to try and make your life a little bit easier.
Sure.
Tough. But I mean, you know, especially if the one you love has had to have an autopsy because I'm in a meeting, I can't take the call.
Sorry.
No. Neil, don't phone me now. No, Neil, we're on air. Don't think anybody saw that. You know, suddenly the one you love is having an autopsy and you think, oh my God. And then you go to one place to get the death certificate. They go, I'm so sorry, it's not here, it's somewhere else. And you're like, I don't need this now. I don't need this. How am I supposed to cope? Very hard. Very, very hard. And people grieve in so many different ways. So many different ways. They're so raw. And one of the things I've noticed out of the many, I mean, I love doing weddings and baby namings and vow renewals are great. I love those because it's just a reaffirmation of everything. But you realize that they're in a trance. People are in a trance at that point. Really are. And so I make myself invisible, you know, not to encroach. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're in a Turkish restaurant doing DJing.
Yeah, in a little cocktail bar. Why is that funny?
I'm just thinking, you know what it's reminding me of? Did you
I said, my colleague on the radio, I said, I've got a new DJ residence. She went, Iron Apple. I went, no, Reigate. But it's just not. It's a step.
It's close. It's close.
You've got to start somewhere.
Do you know what? Do you know what I love about you? Well, many things. But what I love about you is your eternal optimism. And it's like, I don't care how old I was. It a Turkish delight? Obviously.
I don't know if I would say that, Graham. No.
No. Can somebody explain to me one of the great mysteries of life? What does anybody see in Turkish delight? What the hell? It's disgusting. And other people go wild for it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know.
Unless you get it from a witch in Narnia, in which case it's highly dangerous.
Is it? Is that part of the story? I don't know. Is it?
Yeah. Yes. The White Witch gave Edmund Turkish delight. And that was
how come you got a PhD in The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe? How come? Never read it.
I got the book for a third off. It was just called The Lion and the Witch.
It's 7 books, isn't it? Is it 7 books?
It's a whole trilogy. There's a prequel called The Magician's Nephew. That's how it all started. And the second one's the big one, Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe.
And then the last book was The Magician's Brother-in-Law.
No, the last book nah, you got me. Can't remember.
I have to pass it to the other team. Right. Paul Claridge says this. Neil, you and I have never met face to face. But let's remedy that sometime soon. I like it.
I'll come to one of your comedy shows. That'd be nice. Yeah, they're on Facebook where I am. And we'll have a laugh. I'll tell you about an infamous night at the Bedford in Balham. That's Banana Cabaret. When Russ bought me a pint of Guinness and a new breed of moth was discovered.
Yeah, those nights down in the Bedford in Balham. Bedford in Balham was great. Oh, God. I'm not reading this out.
Oh, come on. Last time I went to a Turkish restaurant, asked if the kebab was shish. They said it wasn't that bad. Oh, for goodness sake. I actually know a Turkish comedian, and her surname is Donna. Oh, I'm not kidding.
Shut up.
No, her name is Tuba Donna.
Does she stand on stage and just go round her?
No.
Like a mini Sunday night on the play.
I'm not being like, I don't know, rude. That's her name, and she makes jokes about it. Her name is Tuba Donna, and she's very attractive and very funny.
That's absolute genius. Now, when you're there doing, I'm sorry, I got to drill down a bit more. So in this restaurant, everyone is eating, right? Are they getting up to dance? Is that the
no? It's a big restaurant, and they have all the eating tables, but upstairs. Okay. They have a cocktail bar where they serve until midnight, and they have a DJ in there. Me and my team, because they want to get people dancing. That's what's going on.
Team.
Yes, I have a team.
Come on, what do they do?
Well, DJ, what do you think they do?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't DJ.
Well, it's a DJ team. What do you imagine they do? Giant chest.
Get you a drink? They give me a drink. They go running off. Yes, Mr. Long. Yes, Mr. Long. And they come back. Is that it? Or are they like an operating thing? And they mop your brow if you get a bit hot? I don't know what they do. It's you pressing buttons. What do they do?
They do their own gigs.
What, the same time as you?
Huh?
The same time as you?
Yes.
Well, doesn't the music clash?
No, we're in
one corner, you're in another corner.
No, we're in different venues.
Well, you didn't make that clear.
Well,
made that very unclear.
I'm sorry, I would have thought it was.
You said I'm in the restaurant with me and my team.
No, I said me and my team will be DJing it. I didn't say all at the same time.
Further, may I please treat this as a hostile witness? You can, Mr. Kane. Thank you very much, Your Honor. I was the worst lawyer. That was absolute rubbish. Anyway, I get it. So upstairs in the cocktail bar, they're all...
No, it's my job to do that.
So what do you put on, you know? Like what? What is
Mankinians and sparkly shoes. No, what
oh God! Oh jeez, that's me off lunch.
Oh. Well, I played quite a lot of Teddy Swims for some Ukrainian girls that were in there. And
I have no idea what you just said. Were you suddenly talking Chinese? Teddy Swims.
He was a YouTube star over lockdowns and a couple of really big hits now. One called The Door. Okay. Another one called Bad Dreams.
I'll play along.
And I play some Soul Weekender stuff as well.
No idea. Any Slade?
Slade? No, Slade is generally reserved for Christmas.
I have no idea. I have stopped. Of course I do. Yes. Come on, feel the noise. It's Christmas. That one. Because I love you, Christmas. Mama, we're all Christmas now. I thought Slade were fantastic. Bizarrely, I've never met her. And on Twitter, I chat. This is a little glimpse into the complete paucity of my life with Noddy Holder's wife, Susan Holder. Never met her. Don't know her from a hole in the wall. Oh, that's very good, Graham. Come on. That is a great gag. That is a great gag. He's in a Turkish restaurant and...
Did you play 10cc's O'Donnell? Very good.
Graham, that is a crackingly good gag. I love... We're going to have to clean our act up. The doctor's coming on shortly. I don't want to be like two hyenas here, but it's basically me, mate.
Oh, excuse me, Graham. You made me cough.
That's all right.
Do you see what I did?
What is Claridge doing? No, what did you do? Sorry, what did you do? Go on.
I coughed and said that Graham made me cough, Tay. It's another kebab joke. Russ, stop bullying Neil. It's not his fault that he struggles.
Get you.
My expectations.
Slade all year round. I hate Christmas songs. I really hate them. It's the one thing I dread. Well, I dread everything about Christmas, but mostly I dread the music. Why?
There must be at least one Christmas song that you like.
Not anymore.
Not even Fairy Tale?
Well, I've heard it. I don't need to hear it 50,000 times in November and December. I mean, I've heard it. I tell you what the problem was. When I did Panto, oh, no, you didn't. Yeah, I did. You're locked in your dressing room. You have to have the speakers on because you need to listen to your cue. So for the whole of 84 shows, 2.5 months, right, you've got this bloody Christmas tape coming into your dressing room. And it's some sort of kind of KGB torture because it's the same songs on a loop. I just wanted to smash the speaker eventually. Now, look here, Liz Saul. We're playing very nice. We're playing very, very nicely.
He's bullying me.
I am the Meghan Markle of rodeo. Anyway, so there we go. Boy, oh boy, have you read that? You've seen what Vanity Fair have done? That's the final nail in the coffin. That's the one.
No, I missed this. What's this?
Oh, well. I've never made a secret of it. I'm not a fan of Meghan and Harry. I think they're both despicable. I think what they've done is shocking on a whole raft of reasons, okay? And the American media kept blowing smoke up their backsides and, they're marvelous and this and that. And Vanity Fair was kind of in the vanguard. Vanity Fair is a very influential magazine. Until last week, when the headline was, big picture of them, American Hustle. And this op-ed piece absolutely buried them. Now,
Why?
one of the things that, it just went through everything. In other words, they've done a complete 180. And instead of saying, aren't they marvelously great? No, show them for what they are. And I don't want to, I really don't. Oh, Liz, thank you, Liz. Don't want on my side. I don't like Christmas either. So there we go. Oh, hang on, he's back. Go on. You deal with your new best friend, your new best pal.
It's very unfair to tag Slade as just a Christmas song band. Well, I never did. Well,
no, you did.
It's amazing. Many other bands credit Slade as their inspiration. Slade are a fantastic band.
Yes, they were great. I watched a little documentary on YouTube. My guilty pleasure at night, after I've watched whatever, if I can find anything, is that I go to YouTube and find all these weird documentaries, which really fascinate me. And there was this thing about Slade. And they played at, come on, was it the Reading Festival? You will know. They were down in the doldrums. Career was over. It was finished. They'd had 2 totally dry years, 1 hit. And as Dave Hill said, we were on the point of just giving up. That was it. And on the bill of this it was all heavy metal, right? It was all metal. It was all greasy rockers and all the rest of it, right? Was Ozzy Osbourne. At the last minute, Ozzy Osbourne can't play. Okay. And Noddy gets the call, can you play at this massive heavy metal festival? And he says, come on, we've been playing all these little clubs, these little gigs, these little tiny colleges and all the rest of it. We know what we're doing. Let's take the gigs. And the boy said, I've got nothing to lose because we're screwed anyway. We haven't had a hit in 2 years. No one's interested. America failed totally. So you can imagine the audience can't wait to see Ozzy Osbourne. It was with this new band called the Blizzard of Oz after he'd left. Whatever it was, I can't bloody remember what it was called. And with Tony Iommi and the rest of it. So they come on stage and everyone's buggered off, right? No one's interested. It's a huge crowd. There's tens of thousands. And there's maybe 100 people that go, Christ, Slade. They're really not interested. Slade didn't care. And they gave it 100%. Halfway through the set, people are running to get down the stage, running. And it goes from 100, 150 disinterested people who didn't want to see this old-fashioned has-been band to something like 60,000 people going crazy as Slade just ripped it apart because they were so professional, because they really know what they're doing. Encore, they never do encores. Encore after encore. Now, coming back full circle to Neil never taking down his Christmas decorations.
What's that got?
It's August. It's August, right? And the crowd are screaming for Merry Christmas. Screaming. So Slade go, well, that's what they want. Okay, so they play that. The place goes wild. They go off. They're still screaming. So they have to play it again. It completely changed everything, that one gig. And I was so... Did you know they went to live in America to try and break that territory? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they all left the Midlands. They went up to... lived in America. Nothing. Could not break it. Couldn't break America at all. Came back with their tail between their legs. It's been an absolute disaster. But they're triers. They're triers, and that's what I love about them. And they're loyal. You know, their drummer, Don, had a terrible car crash. Did you know that?
No.
Oh, Don had a terrible, terrible car crash and gave him very bad head injuries. And the side effect of these head injuries was he had no memory. When I say no memory, if you were recording, he couldn't remember what would come next in the drum part at all. Now, a lot of bands would have said, well, sorry, Don, you know, it's just not going to work out. Not Slade, not Noddy Holder and the gang. No. They kept him. They continued to work with him. And they would keep stopping the recordings until he could catch up. What a bloody marvelous thing. Our guest, Graham. Now you see, Graham, you did a great. I think Donington. Paul, you're probably right. Absolutely, it was Donington.
Yeah, Castle Donington.
Well done. It was Donington. She's here. We know because it's crowded because there's not much room. Come on, thank you. I'm here all week. Try the chicken and tip your waiter, ladies and gentlemen. Emily is in the house.
Hello, Emily.
Hello. Sorry, I had to laugh at the mushroom joke.
Of course you did. Obviously.
It's not the first time today I've heard that joke, actually.
Is it not? Damn it.
No, it's
Who else
cropped
did
up.
it?
It's cropped up a couple of times.
Cheek.
Yeah, it has.
I only
And
just
fun
thought of
guy.
it, really?
Fun guy.
That's such an old joke, Emily. It's such an old joke.
Yeah, that one's
It
come
is,
up
but it still amuses us.
It's an oldie but a goodie, I would say.
Good.
I don't know about the goodie bit. It's certainly an oldie.
Goody gumdrops. Anyway, right. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us at the last minute. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming along.
No problem.
Now then,
thank you for having me.
I hope that I've got your title correct. It's Emily Andre, a.k.a. Dr. Emily McDonough.
Correct. That's correct, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, today, they call it Blue Monday, Dr. Emily. It's supposed to be the saddest day of the year, apparently, today. Do you agree with that?
I mean, I think Blue Monday is a concept. I'm not sure if we can label one day as, for me, I think that, things like depression or serious conditions and can be worse or can appear at any time of year. Do I think that January is a difficult month for many people? I do, actually. I think that, you've got kind of the post-Christmas slump. The weather's pretty grim, it's dark and kind of those long, dark nights. And then there's kind of the financial side, isn't there, after Christmas? So I do think January can be quite tough, actually. So I think that's my take on Blue Monday anyway.
Okay, fair enough. So you can have I suppose you're absolutely right. Depression and all those sorts of things, they can happen any time of the year. But I suppose January can be quite a tough month thinking about it.
Here's a little tip.
Which is why I leave my Christmas decorations up, because I like to. Of course
he does.
That's why.
I love that. I think that's great.
Don't encourage him, Emily.
Thank you, Emily.
Please. God damn.
Are they still up now?
You've known him 30 seconds. I've known him forever. No, this is a. You've fallen into the trap straight away.
I'm sorry.
Here's a little tip, Emily. Here's a little tip about Christmas and finances, right? Stop being stupid and don't spend what you don't have. Come on. You just say to the people who love you, I'm sorry, guys, I'm skint this year, but, let's have dinner or something. That's always happens. Look at the credit card bills go, oh, my God. Like it's a huge surprise.
I think it's because Christmas is sort of kind of in the middle of winter, isn't it? I think it's the one thing that people really look forward to, that like having that big day, and it's the build up for months. And it's, it's constantly on all the adverts, isn't it? I mean, they start selling mince pies in, I don't know what it was this
July.
year, September or something. So
there's Easter stuff up in some of the supermarkets. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because I do think it does give people sometimes that little bit of a boost midwinter doesn't it, as well? So, you know, like the
Come
family
January.
and not for everybody. I understand that, but
Can you imagine winter without Christmas? It would be like Narnia.
Yes, I really can. I really.
So talk to us about beating the blues, Dr. Emily.
Yes, that's what we want to hear about.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, it's about making those small changes. I'm not a big fan of trying to change everything at once. I think that just makes it feel unrealistic and more likely to fall off the wagon. So I think trying to do little changes, maybe going out for a walk outside, having a bit of family time or kind of time for yourself. But I think lifestyle and diet are quite often neglected in terms of the positive impact they can have on your well-being, your physical health and your mental health. So one of the things obviously in your diet is, you know, 5 a day. Definitely, I think everyone's heard of that. But the main thing I want to talk about was mushrooms, because I think although they are one of your 5 a day, I don't think a lot of people know necessarily how great they are. And there was a recent study with European mushrooms, and they found that around 41% of people didn't know how nutritional mushrooms are. So kind of wanted to say, give mushrooms a try. If you're not somebody who normally eats them, try them, because they've got folate, B vitamin, selenium, vitamin D as well, which going back to the winter months thing, obviously a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D, and they're pretty much the only plant-based source of vitamin D. And I actually didn't know that until recently, that if mushrooms are UV treated, they've got vitamin D in them. So look out for it in the shops. It will say on the packaging that they're vitamin D, you know, they contain vitamin D. So kind of here to say, give them a try and feel the benefits.
I like mushrooms. Mushrooms are not. I like them anyway.
Me too.
I think they're nice.
So how did this come onto your radar? What makes you the mushroom lady?
European Mushrooms Limited, I'm guessing.
Yeah, European mushrooms, which, you know, the other thing I love about mushrooms is most of the ones you'll get in the supermarkets here will be grown in the UK and Ireland, which I absolutely love. I mean, I'd love to say I get all local produce. I you know, obviously some things do come in from abroad. Sometimes you don't even realise it if you order it on your shopping and it comes from somewhere else. But I like the fact that they're generally pretty local as well.
Yeah. I'm with that. I'm with that. You know, if you could, I wish we could all shop. I would shop local. I'd love to go into little shops. They don't exist.
Yeah,
so
me too.
What are you going to do? You know, you end up in Little and Aldi and all the rest of it. So
what about all the posh mushrooms? Is it any particular genus of mushroom that's super healthy? Like shiitake mushrooms, for example, off the top of my head. There's lots of different types of mushrooms, isn't there?
There are, in fact, probably thousands of different types of mushrooms. For me personally, as I said, I tend to like to go for the ones that are more locally grown, and they tend to be things like the chestnut mushrooms, butter mushrooms,
my fave.
Things like that.
That's my fave.
Those are the ones that I personally really like. I mean, there are obviously the exotic types of mushrooms. For starters, they're a bit more expensive, I think, but I like the flavour of just a good old mushroom. You know,
I don't get the difference.
Where do they grow those?
Pardon?
I like the breaded ones. Where do they grow those?
That's a good question. Probably if you buy them in the supermarket, probably somewhere nearby, because I imagine they just grow them here and then put the breadcrumbs on.
Emily,
I'd like
you're
to
a very good
a mushroom
sport.
expert.
You're a very, very good sport on this.
No, they're the best. They're probably not as nutritious, are they, after they've been breaded and
no. The garlic sauce that you undoubtedly have with them, knowing you, Longie, will be part of your 5 a day. Now, I've got a question.
They are very diverse mushrooms. That's what I like about them. You can cook them in all different ways. I think putting breadcrumbs on them, that's not too much of an issue. You'll still be getting some of the vitamins.
No, I just like the mushrooms. I got a question for you. My daughter, some time ago, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier in the show, said, "Dad, I got something for you," because she sent me mushroom coffee, which tasted okay. Yeah, tasted okay, but it was meant to really improve my concentration, because I do a lot of staring at a screen all day, etc., and nothing. Absolutely, tasted
I've
fine.
never tried mushroom coffee.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it wasn't.
I can't imagine what that's like.
Well, it's kind of like, I'm not being facetious, it's kind of like coffee. It didn't taste desperately different, slightly nuttier, I guess.
And is the caffeine content similar to actual coffee, or no?
No, not at all.
Because there can be quite a wide range in terms of how people respond to caffeine. You know, some people have one coffee and it wakes them right up, and other people it just doesn't have that same effect.
God, you've obviously met me. Never met. You've got to go. I know you are back to back. I know, with interviews. So bless you for dropping in. I know you got to go. But my final question: if you could give us one tip to cheer ourselves up, what would it be, Emily?
Oh, that's a good one. I think try and make small changes. Don't try and change everything at once, because nobody, we're all human and you can't be perfect and you can't do everything. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Make small changes, and that would be it for me. Don't put too much pressure on yourself.
That
As
is
Michael Mosley says, just one thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bless you. I know you got to go, otherwise we could talk for ages.
It's been lovely to meet you,
dropping
Dr.
in.
Emily. Thank you for coming on.
No, it was a lovely
chat.
Thank you both.
Feel free to come back any time. Seriously,
I would love to. And if your Christmas decorations are still up, then I'll come back maybe in the summer and see if they're still up.
They'll be there.
Yeah,
don't worry, Emily. They'll be there, for God's sake.
Under the Christmas tree.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, Dr. Emily. Thank you.
Well, she's nice. What a nice person. How lovely. Right, now, swap us around. There we go. She was delightful. Right, what have we got? Load of stuff coming up. So, excuse me. Can I just say that tuning into the show today has raised my spirits. Got to get out more, Paul. I've been very down recently. I'm not surprised. I don't know how you get out of bed. I read your stuff. I read your private messages to me. I don't know how you get out of bed. I don't. It's incredible. I've been very down recently due to health issues and other factors, but I'm sitting here with two of my friends' dogs sleeping on the sofa next to me. I feel relaxed and re-energized.
Superb. Well, if we can
dogs and humour.
Do that, Paul, then we are absolutely delighted. I saw a funny meme about mushrooms. It was someone talking to someone else about mushrooms and pointing out 3 different kinds. They said, well, those will feed you, those will kill you, and with those you'll see God.
I'm going to stick with the feed you ones, because supposing you see God, I take them and then you appear. Imagine what's going to happen to my world. You ever thought of that?
I think you might want to start showing a bit more respect now, just in case.
Well, we need to discuss a lot of stuff. If you're God, we've got a hell of a lot to discuss. Quite frankly. An Australian woman, I thought she was from, you're right, she was Australian. No, I thought it was New York. I remember this case. An Australian woman was charged.
Yeah.
Do you remember this case?
I do. I don't think she was guilty at all. I think it was a terrible accident. What?
Are you serious?
Yes.
No, she was charged with murder. She was giving her family poisonous mushrooms in a beef Wellington.
Well, I don't think she meant to do it.
Really? You think? All right.
Yeah, I do. I remember thinking it at the time.
I like this from Nigel. Nigel David, right? I got the mushroom gummies, no, not from Amsterdam, which are supposed to improve things. They didn't feel anything. Do you know, I've tried all these things. And hello, what's she saying? What's this? Hello, Better Call Saul. I had mushroom cheese avocado pancakes. It's exotic. Yummy. Wowza. Okay. I have to be feeling up to it. My tummy these days is just, what's this? If God is Neil, I'm turning atheist.
Charming.
Maybe if God is Neil, that is why the Christmas decorations are up all year.
Yeah.
You never thought of that. You never thought of that one. Ever. Oh dear God, where were we? I'm missing a thing. So anyway, I try these things. I think, well, if it improves my memory or makes my stomach feel better or anything like that, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. Never has an effect on me. CBD oil occasionally, but otherwise, nothing at all. Just doesn't do anything. I wish it did. I'm not being difficult about it. I just doesn't work. Works for you, I think. Works for you. I try to be open about it, but bucket. Yeah.
Well, CBD is very good for you, but it's probably quite subtle, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And CBD will not get you high, but it will calm you. CBD, won't it?
No, absolutely. Yeah. Neil had a good at me for not stop it, you two. Neil had a good at me for not liking Christmas.
I did not have a go at you for not liking Christmas, Liz.
What is that about? I don't want to get involved. Private stuff. Nigel Davis, I've always regarded Neil as my Jedi DJ master.
You poor misguided man, Nigel.
Well, you must be good because you teach all these other people how to be DJs.
Yeah, I'm pretty good. We need a guest on Wednesday. Do you want to be my guest on this show Wednesday, Nigel?
Well, yeah. Oh, Rosemary Jessup. Hello, Rosemary, and good afternoon to you.
Hello, Rosemary. How are you?
I think she's okay. Very interesting person. Oh yes, please. There you go. You got your guest.
All right, you're on. We'll talk about all things radio. Now, Russ, are you available for being on someone's podcast? And feel free to say no.
Well, can I know what it is first?
He's a comedy buddy of mine, and he wants to interview interesting people about interesting things. And he remembers the heyday of Capital very well with you and Pat and Mick and Tarrant and all that sort of thing. And he would love to just do half an hour recording with you.
Of course, I'd be flattered and delighted. How about?
Thank you very much.
Not at all. So
thank you very much.
You've got
recording with Mick Brown this afternoon.
He's talking.
What? Why do you keep corpsing? What is it with you today? Have you been drinking?
Because no, bloody not. I didn't even drink yesterday. I certainly haven't drunk today. It's 10 to 1 bloody afternoon. I don't drink. You put me in a good mood. I'm thinking about the interview with Mick Brown. Everything's terrible. I hate television. I hate the music.
Don't be so rude.
Well, you know what? I got a view in that. There's a lot of things that I really don't like about, and occasionally I speak out, but I don't often write about them, like Facebook and Twitter. Talk about Facebook, right? And Mick, bless him, he bangs, and I always just write to him. I said, Mick, just switch it off. There's no one putting a 357 Magnum to your head and say you got to watch whatever show it is you can't stand. Don't watch it. Flip the channel. There's so many people I can't bear, and I avoid them like the plague on TV. Could you do this? My throat's about to back up.
4 layers on and still cold. I can even see the horse's breath. The great days of Capital first, Euston Tower, and then Leicester Square.
Yeah. It all changed at Leicester Square. It wasn't the same. There was a vibe in the Euston Tower that was just fantastic. I can't explain it. I think, all right, this is going to sound woo-woo, but I think certain buildings have certain atmospheres. Does that make any sense? And the Euston Towers, even in the walls, it seemed to have felt right. And of course, Leicester Square was much more modern, had all the whistles and bells, but it never felt.
Didn't have the feeling of the Euston Tower.
There you go.
It never did. The Euston Tower had a certain feeling to it, which Leicester Square didn't have. And you're right, it was more modern. It was more everything, but it just wasn't there. I used to have weird dreams that I'd gone back to the Euston Tower and gone back into the old studio, and it was all derelict with just like these antiquated bits of radio graveyard in there. A bizarre dream.
So Nigel Davis, I still need to find the recording of the James Bond radio play competition of Tarrant, Russ, and me playing Miss Moneypenny. I have no recollection of this at all. Absolutely.
You make a good Miss Moneypenny, Nigel.
Rosemary Jessup. Oh, I put the wrong one up after Karen Loud. I did work on. Oh my God, did you? We were always told that MI5 were on the top floors.
Well, the impression Capital gave was it was from the top of the Euston Tower. Which,
of course it wasn't.
No, it wasn't. If the jingle was true, it'd be live from the first floor of the Euston Tower with no windows. And it was. There was no windows. It wasn't at the top of the tower. It was on the first floor. And there were no windows. Nothing.
The only windows were in the basement where the news department used to be, where I was very not welcome. I made the mistake of walking down there once. Jesus Christ. Well, I got glared at, skedaddled. Sarah Ward. Do you remember Sarah Ward? That was before your time.
I remember the name.
Sarah Ward was sort of queen bee of the news. And, oh, God, Nick, who passed last year. I got very upset about it.
Oh, Nick Wheeler.
Nick Wheeler passed, yeah.
did, didn't he? Yeah.
God damn. Oh, it was the Ministry of Defence. The Ministry of Defence had a listening station on the roof. You weren't allowed on it. No, and the lift, you couldn't access the lift at all. So as Longie says, the great myth was all the aerials and everything coming up the roof was all us. It wasn't. And we only had the basement and the first floor. It was very small, but it just felt huge. Oh, Rosemary Jessup, yes, happy days. The tap's somehow magical. Remember all those stairs? That curving sort of Art Deco type staircase was great. Yeah. It was really, really nice. Oh dear, what's this? Oh dear, you better read this. This sounds naughty.
My mate Jason was a sound engineer at Capitol. He said their favourite prank was to phone into the Robert Elm show on BBC Radio London, Larson's play Eye of the Tiger or the Beatles.
It was all right, Nigel. Nigel, it's just not jogging my memory at all. My memory is shot to hell. It was when Tomorrow Never Dies was released. Tarrant played Bond. I played Stamper. No, I don't know what that is. There was me and a woman going head to head playing Moneypenny. We had to read from a script. Yeah, well, we didn't make it up. That would have been written by Tony Nicholson. He would have read those. I saw at Christmas. It's marvelous. Oh my God. The tower was magical. Do you remember the Capitol gigs at the basement of the pub nearby?
No.
Yeah. What was it called? Begins with a G. Gresham? The Green? Oh God, my head. Come on, man. Can't remember. Oh, here we go. Graham Pack's giving us some insight. The lift only went to the 35th floor. Stairs to the 34 offices. More stairs to the roof. Oh, the Grafton. Thank you. Did you ever go to the hotel?
That was in Minder, wasn't it? The Grafton Club.
No, that was the. Oh, God, my head. Jeez. That was the. Oh, God. It'll come back to me in a minute. All right, gang. What was the name of the club? In
Minder.
In Minder. What was the name of the club they had? The Winchester Club. That was it.
The Winchester Club.
The Winchester Club. The interesting thing about the Winchester Club, they always used a particular door. That door was actually the door to Julie's restaurant. I don't know somebody I know called Julie's. The name of the restaurant was Julie's, which was a very famous, fabulous restaurant. I think it's reopened or something. Good God. Are you mad? I won a holiday to Thailand and gave it away to help a London child. Blimey O'Reilly. I got a question for you, Neil.
What you got?
It's a serious question, right? I always try to steer things to today and what's going on now. People love going back to the days of Capitol. You and I actually never talk about it, ever. When we see each other, we don't talk about it. We deal with why is it all these years? I mean, I stopped there 21 years ago. 21 years ago, I stopped. And people still love it, talk about it, have such affection. And just why? I mean, it's wonderful. Please don't think I'm complaining. I think it's beautiful. I'm just so
because it was a key part of their growing up. They remember it. It was me, and it doesn't have that feel anymore.
No, it's
the Capitol Radio of today.
No, of course not. It's corporate, and it was the moment that Global bought it. I'm not being rude about Global. I understand the financial imperatives that work on. I live in the real world, but it stops it being friendly and cozy. I worked on the Capitol Helpline a couple of years later when they moved to Leicester Square. The only biggest fallout at Capitol, when I was there initially, everyone smoked. I don't smoke cigarettes, never have. But everyone smoked heavily in the studios. Were you there when people were smoking?
Including me, yeah.
Oh my God! Right. Well, I don't smoke cigarettes. Okay. And you'd go in, and they
had a cigarette machine on the wall.
Shut up! No.
In Capitol, yes, they did. Near the cafe.
Bloody hell!
Near our staff restaurant, they did.
With Betty. Anyway, the microphone stunk of cigarettes. Every mic stunk of cigarette smoke, which if you don't smoke is ghastly. And the ashtrays were overflowing. That's how it was. Those were the days. When everyone moved from Euston Tower to Leicester Square, the rule was there'd be no more smoking. And that is the only time there was a falling out between Chris and management. He said, I'm going to continue smoking. They said, you can't. Sorry. We can't have a rule just that you can smoke cigars. Chris smokes cigars. You can smoke cigars and nobody else can smoke. Can't do that. So Chris says, well, and there was a real hoo-ha. And I thought, oh my God.
Really?
Yeah, there's a real hoo-ha. And I thought, this is going to be a deal breaker. But then, Chris thought, oh, the hell with it. They're, okay. I mean, he's a very, very sensible man. Like all people who pretend to be very silly, he's extremely intelligent and very sensible. And so, of course, there was no smoking, which was much, much nicer for everybody else. Difficult if you were a smoker. I get that. It's part of the. I've never sat ever and smoked. What does Paul say, Neil? And I must let you go.
He says radio was fun. Didn't toe the corporate line and presenters seem like your mates, not someone following a script.
Oh, what's this? We used to go on the roof. That's the square.
I know where you mean, Nigel. I know that roof because I've smoked on that roof as well.
Oh, God.
Oh, we could reminisce. I'll see you Wednesday.
You don't smoke. You don't smoke now. Quick question: you don't smoke now, though, do you, or do you? I can't remember.
I have the odd one.
The odd one, but it's not like a big craving. So you've done very well. I think anybody who can give up smoking, I'm not saying you should. I'm just saying if you can, I think it's brilliant because it's not easy. Really not. Longie, you've cheered me up a lot today. I was feeling a bit shaky. You've cheered me up. Thank you so much.
I do my best. Best of British to you. I'll see you Wednesday with Nigel David as my guest. I'll send you the link, Nigel. What?
Best of British to you. We are so weird. We are just so weird. Anyway, Longie, thank you so much. I'll see you.
You're welcome. Have a good afternoon, everyone. See you Wednesday with Nigel.
Bye, gang.